What is up, guys? This is David from Bronx Banter coming at you with another episode. And look, I know the Yankees just start off this season really in an amazing way, in a way that I don't think any of us would have even predicted, even with the acquisitions that we made this offseason. Coming off an 82-80 season, we weren't expecting to be leading the American League and arguably leading the whole league in wins with 12 wins, our record being 12-4, beating hot starting team in the Cleveland Guardians. They've had their own hot start. We've been able to take the series and almost swept them, but we didn't sweep them because of a struggling issue that we've had, quite frankly, this whole season now, albeit a very short season, but something that shouldn't be overlooked despite all of our success so far. And I would argue that we would have had much more success on top of the already high amount of success we had if this wasn't so much of an issue. And that is our Yankees infield defense being a real problem. And this isn't a video about just me, talking down on a good Yankee team, because this is a good team. But this is me bringing you stats, facts, analytics, and of course my opinion and the eye test of what this infield defense is made up of. And really, this infield defense is made up of, this part isn't concrete, but arguably I would make a guesstimate and say 90% of our errors, of our defensive flaws have been all made within the infield. And there's a few things I kind of want to break down. Like, if you didn't see yesterday's game, we should have won. We could have won. First of all, despite the loss, it was a great, fun, entertaining game. Anthony Volpe's still amazing, right? What isn't quite amazing is that bobble he made to stop a double play to bring us 2 outs and 1 out away from ending it and winning the game. And then with infield in, Gleyber Torres bobbles a hard hit grounder, I will say, but still bobbles a ball that he should have had and made the play at home and didn't get the out. Then on top of that, earlier in the game, there were 2 ground balls that were not fielded cleanly. And again, fairly easy plays by Rizzo. 2 errors committed by Rizzo alone this game. 2 bobbles that arguably could have been errors but weren't marked as errors. All of these plays could have stopped 1 run or several runs from occurring. That's a problem. Especially when we lost in extras, when we could have easily won. And it's clear that our offense showed up with making 7 runs. Our pitching, if these plays were made, would have looked a lot better than what it ended up becoming in terms of earned runs. I will go as far as saying Ferguson would have had a save in this situation in the 10th inning if it wasn't for the lack of hold down defense in the infield. And again, let me show you some of these stats that I have here. So here you see 2024 worst ranked fielding percentage by teams in the first 15 games. Ranked in last are the Red Sox, ranked second to last are the Athletics, and ranked third to last are the Yankees. Now, the outlier here are the first place Yankees. Thank God we're in first place, but the A's, though they've had a much better start than what we even predict, I believe they're still playing under 500. You see their defense is a problem. The Red Sox, they've had a respectable start to the season, but they're still performing poorly, especially compared to the Yankees. And our fielding percentage is only 0.04%, away from being last. 0.004% away from being last in the league in fielding percentage. That's a major issue, especially if we're calling ourselves a first place team, a World Series contending team, a playoff contending team. This cannot happen at all. Third last in defense, which is something that hasn't been too much of an issue in past years, has been the Yankees defense. Now has become a very big weakness, a part of our team. And again, very early into the season, but something definitely to be aware of. And even beyond that, yesterday's game was a perfect indication, an example of where our defense has been coming from. Because Alex Verdugo is a Gold Glove winner out there in left field and has shown he has made plays. He's going all out for some plays. Now, yes, Anthony Rizzo is a Gold Glove winner. I mean, Anthony Rizzo was a Gold Glove winner years ago, but I was speaking about Anthony Volpe is also a Gold Glove winner last year. But Anthony Volpe not playing to the Gold Glove standard. I don't think he's necessarily terrible. But our biggest issue easily is our second baseman in Gleyber Torres, which has been a constant issue. Year after year, having a fielding percentage of around 950, which sounds good, but it really isn't good. And Anthony Rizzo, which for some reason, something about this year is not working out or playing good. It may be quick and easy to say that Anthony Rizzo is still struggling with a concussion, but then his hitting has been better. So I don't know what it is that's wrong with Rizzo on first base. Again, it's a very small sample size, very early into the season. I'm not saying any roster changes have to occur, but they need to figure out what's going on either mentally, physically, positionally. Maybe they're not positioning themselves in the right way possible. Something's a tick off, especially with Rizzo. Gleyber, we're kind of getting what we expected, but if with Gleyber performing as poorly as we expect at second base, and then Rizzo performing poorly, worse than what we expect, because we expect good defense at first from Rizzo, we have a giant hole on the right side of that infield that is not being resolved. So what was once covered by Rizzo's strong defense now isn't being covered up. So now we have two poor defending infielders on the right side. Then you look at the left side of the infield, not Oswaldo's fault, but he is supposed to be a Uto guy, not an everyday third baseman. Now he's that because his offense is so great, but he hasn't made every single play at third base either. Anthony Volpe is someone that we would hope to expect to hold down that Gold Glove level defense that he had last year. Not so much. And let me tell you exactly why I'm saying all this. Now, this is the infield playing stats. This isn't the same stats that I showed you on the last slide, but this shows you the worst fielding percentage by all positional players ranked. First is Oswaldo Cabrera. Now, he's only had 29 opportunities, but he's had 3 errors in total at a 897 fielding percentage. Then you skip down to Volpe. He has a 964 fielding percentage with 3 errors as well. Gleyber Torres has 2 errors with a 966 fielding percentage with 59 attempts. And skipping Jose Trevino, which also isn't great because he's supposed to be a platinum glove defender, to see him on this list. You have Anthony Rizzo, in 124 attempts, has had 2 errors. Now, this is only in the first 15 games. This isn't including the 2 errors that Rizzo got in the to close the Cleveland series yesterday. So, if with those updated stats, he may be looking way worse on this list, which is pretty scary to see. He would be leading the whole team with 4 errors committed at first base, which is a major problem that our whole starting infield, from catcher to even backup third baseman here, you see all have the worst fielding percentage on the Yankees team, which is a major problem. So if I haven't convinced you, not just from the eye test, not just from the stats, that we have a huge issue with our defense, Gleyber, I can't expect much to get better with Gleyber, if I'm being honest, because his career has shown that 966 fielding percentage is about what he's going to do, which is kind of unfortunate. Gleyber's also not producing offensively, so what is he producing to the team? Again, super early. This video is mainly about the defense and how, again, not that I think there's any roster changes that need to occur, but this is something that needs to be addressed, brought up, and hopefully Rizzo could turn it around. Another big glaring statistic that I don't have specific numbers for here. This is mainly about Gleyber and Rizzo. This stat is about Rizzo. Rizzo committed 4 errors in about roughly 100 games. 99 games last year, he committed 4 errors, Rizzo. for a 995 fielding percentage, which is good, which is solid. We'll take it. That's great. That's awesome. That means you're only making errors 0.005% of the time. That's 4 errors in 100 games. Rizzo this year, in 16 games, has committed 4 errors. So the same amount of errors that he committed in 100 games last year, again, with his concussion for half of those games, Rizzo has committed 4 errors in that same amount of errors in 16 games, which is very, very poor. And then again, let's go back to 2022. In 130 games, even more games than 2023, he committed 5 errors, again, at a fielding percentage of 995. Now, we could look at these career fielding statistics by Rizzo and think, well, Rizzo's got to turn it around, right? Because his career average is very strong, very good in the 990s. Very respectable. Again, he's won Gold Glove. So we expect him to turn it around. I agree. But we're not seeing that here. And not only are we not seeing that here, but we're seeing his lack of defense affect us from winning games. So, and again, this isn't just Rizzo. Glaber's struggled defensively and offensively. Volpe has struggled as well with the second most errors on the team, tied with our third baseman, Oswaldo Cabrera. So, again, we're happy to see what Volpe and Cabrera could bring offensively to this team, so I'm not bashing them too much. Rizzo is bringing, decent numbers, solid enough numbers at first base offensively, but his defense has been getting really scary lately, believing and hoping he could turn it around, but doesn't deny the reality of what we're experiencing right now. So, but if the Yankees can turn this around and figure this out, most namely Rizzo, which we know he can, Glaber, we're going to get what we're going to get from him, which is not great. Volpe and Cabrera, as he gets more comfortable at everyday third base, we're going to have very little flaws in our team. So that cost us our game yesterday. Hopefully that doesn't cost us any games, or not too many games, for the rest of the season. I know we have a long season, and I can see Rizzo creep those fielding percentage numbers back up to where he's used to. But it's unfortunate to see that he's already reached his season error numbers that he had all last year in just 16 games this year. But if the Yankees can turn this around, we're going to be looking really, really sharp, really, really good. Listen, we already are looking really, really sharp, really, really good. So I could only imagine what would happen once we get back down to that lockdown defense that we should have, we could have. We know what Oswaldo could do defensively. We know Volpe. We know Rizzo. Torres, we may need to have another conversation about him in another video. Let me know what you guys think about this infield defense. Do you like it? Do you not? Are you concerned? Are you not? It's unfortunate that we had a game cost to us. I'd argue just by the defense alone. I know our pitching wasn't super lights out, but having good defense would have helped to that, or at least the defense that we expected. So let me know what you guys think. And if you liked today's episode, please make sure you subscribe down below. It'll truly mean the world. Check out what YouTube suggests will be a great video for you. And also, The Martian wants you to subscribe. Judge wants you to subscribe, so make sure you do. And until next time, peace and be blessed.